Hey, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the Controlled Interest Gamecast, where we talk about video games and everything happening in the industry. It is episode 11, and I'm joined, as always, by Jordan and Dominic. What's up, guys?
Beyond.
What's going on?
So, we're going to be getting into what we've been playing this week. I haven't been playing a whole lot. I've been playing Lords of the Fallen. We were talking about it before the show started. It's basically like off-brand Dark Souls, and that may sound bad to a lot of people, but in reality, it's really solid. It takes a lot of the mechanics from Dark Souls. So, like, if you die, you're quote-unquote souls, but in this game it's experience, get put wherever you die, and you have to go and pick them up. The thing about this that I don't remember with Dark Souls, and you can correct me, Dom, when you die, if you die again, your souls disappear, right? Is there a time limit, or are they there permanently until you either pick them up or die?
They're there permanently. If you shut the game off and come back, they'll still be there.
Yeah, so that's the thing with Lords of the Fallen is there's actually a time limit. So if you don't make it back to your quote unquote like ghost corpse to get your XP back in enough time, it'll just disappear and you'll lose it. So it's an added difficulty, I think. They add in like the backstab like crit mechanic from Dark Souls. There's a quote unquote bonfire mechanic. There's a lot of things that are similar to Dark Souls, but there are a lot of things that are different enough to make it its own game. I think it's a really cool IP. I think it has a chance to flourish. I don't think a lot of people played it. It actually became free last month or the month before on Xbox. Jordan, you said you had downloaded it.
Yeah.
But yeah, long story short, I've been having a blast with that. I'll probably bring it up when I actually finish the game. I'm about halfway through, maybe like 45% through the game, so that's cool. Also been playing through Ori and the Blind Forest again, just like an achievement run to get achievements that I missed the first time I played through. I don't know if either of you guys are familiar with it. It was an Xbox exclusive, beautiful art indie game. It's really cool. Just a fun time platformer. Very sad. It's like a Pixar movie. It's really sad. But yeah, definitely recommend Lords of the Fallen and Ori and the Blind Forest to anybody who hasn't played it, especially Ori and the Blind Forest. Like that and Valiant Hearts are some of the best indie games I've ever played. I love those games, along with like Limbo. But yeah, I haven't been playing too much this week. What about you guys?
No good. No. All right. Well, that was my best Uncharted music theme song, whatever we want to call it. That's what I've been playing is Uncharted 4, and whoo, man, we'll talk about it later. But
Is it a 10 out of 10? Is it the best game you ever played? It looks so good. I can't even believe it, man.
Is it an 8.8?
Yeah.
You don't want to get flack.
Yeah, holy shit. But yeah, I give it a 10.
Okay. Is that all you've been playing? Just Uncharted? No Dark Souls 3? No Ratchet?
Took a break. Completed Ratchet a while back. Taking a break from Dark Souls for a while here while I get through Uncharted. I also do want to point out I ordered up a Uncharted, the gray-blue DualShock 4.
Ooh.
And that just came in today. The thing is beautiful.
Yeah. I've been thinking about getting one of those.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It was like $50 on Amazon, so not too bad. But yeah. Also, now that I was done getting distracted with Ocarina of Time on 3DS, I went back to Fire Emblem. So I'm nearly done with that, which has been fun. But Jared, that brings me to a new point where I want to ask, what should I play next on 3DS? I really want to jump back into Pokemon, but I'm not sure where I should go next. I haven't played one since Crystal.
So you have two jumping off points I'd recommend. One, there's the remakes. Well, not remake. It's just like they ported it, literally the old game, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
Red, Blue, Yellow. Those are like $10. Those are really cool just for nostalgic purposes. And if you're gonna jump back in, I would recommend either X or Y, just because it's the latest one, so it has the latest mechanics. So if you decide to play Sun and Moon, yeah, I would probably recommend X and Y. The Black and White games are really solid, but for you not playing since you said Crystal, I would go with X or Y. Look at both of the legendaries and see which one you like more and pick which one you want. That's really how I would say they're, how Pokemon games are. They're pretty much the same thing, slightly different story. It's all about the legendary and the specific Pokemon. So I would do a little research, see what's in X, what's in Y, and then pick out of those two. Back to you. So I think you just had finished what you were playing, right? You were just wondering what else to play on the 3DS.
Yeah. So I guess Jordan, what have you been playing?
So I have also been playing Uncharted 4. That's our big PlayStation 4 exclusive for the week. And hate to say it, but of course the internet is just slobbering all over Naughty Dog's naughty knob. So I enjoy the game. I'll keep it simple there. I'm enjoying the game, but yeah, I do like most of Naughty Dog's games since Jack X Combat Racing, I do think that it is somewhat overrated. And besides that, I just turned on The Witcher earlier today and started playing the first DLC pack, Hearts of Stone, because I'm getting ready for the second DLC pack, Blood and Wine, which comes out the end of this month. I think like May 31st, if I'm right. So we'll be talking about that in just a second, but yeah, just getting back to one of my favorite games of all time. Ready to spend some more hours with it. Just kind of hopped in and like picked up my first couple quests for the DLC. So so far the characters that they're introducing are really cool, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm excited to get more into that.
Awesome. So you guys have heard what we've been playing this week. We're going to get right into the news here. A couple of huge announcements. Actually, we have 3 big announcements. The first one being the New England Patriots star tight end Rob Gronkowski is going to be the cover athlete for Madden 17. It's a very divisive pick. A lot of people love the Patriots. A lot of people don't love the Patriots, to put it simply.
Gronk happy he on Madden cover.
The Civilization 6 trailer was announced. Sid Meier's Civ 6. The last one was Beyond Earth. And it was actually voiced over by... What do you say?
I said Beyond.
Oh, Beyond Earth.
It was voiced over by Sean Bean, everyone's favorite character that dies in everything he's in. Except for, like, The Martian. He actually lived in that. Yeah, so the Civ 6 trailer looks cool. I've played the Civ 6. I've played the Civilization games. They're not necessarily my cup of tea. I don't like that kind of gameplay. But they are, like, a respected franchise. Like, people know about Civ and people love Civ. Did you guys see the trailer?
I didn't. I just saw that it had been announced.
The trailer's really cool. So, like, does this, like, weird, like, parallaxing thing of, like, classic, like, historic photos. And it basically has a voiceover of Sean Bean talking about, like, the world and stuff like that. And it was a really well-done trailer. And it actually had a release date. It's coming out October 21st of this year. So, another one of these games that's like, hey, here's our trailer. You didn't know about the game. And here, it's coming out this year. So, that trend is definitely on the up and up, and it's cool to see that, because anybody who is a fan of Civ, to hear that it's announced and then not have to wait a whole year for it is awesome, right? So it's really cool. So Civ 6 coming your guys' way this October. I don't think we have too much to say about that. But we were talking about Pokemon earlier. Everyone knew Pokemon Sun and Moon were going to be this year's Pokemon games, and we were just waiting to see any details, what was going to happen. Not only did we get the starters announced, we actually got a release date. So Pokemon's going to be coming out November 18th of this year in the US. And the 3 starters were announced. I think both of you guys have seen the starters, right? So we have... Yeah. I'll start off with the weirdest one. His name's Popplio. He's like a seal dog clown thing that's horrendous. Strike fear in kids. It's the water starter. It's a sea lion, I guess. The fire starter is a fire cat named Litten. Which Grimecraft will probably love. The grass starter is actually Grass and Flying, moving on from that, and his name's Rowlet. He has like a bow tie. It seems like, as always, they make sure that the fire starter looks cool. I think the only fire starter that people didn't like was the fox that holds like a stick. But other than that, fire starters are always really cool looking. Grass starters used to be, quote-unquote, the lamest ones. A lot of people didn't like them, but I'm always a grass starter kind of guy. And the last couple of gens have had cool grass starters. Like, last gen was, like, this, like, chipmunk, like, thing that was kind of like what Blastoise did with turtles, but with, like, chipmunk porcupines. So as he evolved, he got, like, very massive, and he had, like, he just looked, like, more intimidating. And then this one's cool. It's like an owl. So, do you guys have any opinions on these Pokemon, these starters? Do they interest you? Do you like any of them more than the others?
I'd say for me, about 90% of the time I look at Pokemon starters, I'm just going with the fire anyways. Like, that's just me, so I almost always choose fire no matter what.
But the interesting thing, though, is that the grass starter is the only dual type. It's grass flying, so that could actually give you a leg up. But then again, there's always, like, I guess it doesn't matter that it's flying, because there's always that, like, first area, like, bird Pokemon, like in the originals it's Pidgey and stuff like that. So I don't know if it makes too much of a difference, but I think it's cool. It's always cool to see these announcements. No matter how super interested you are in Pokemon, there's always like the talk of like which one is the coolest looking, right? And for me, even though I like the owl guy the most, I think the cat definitely looks the coolest. He has the coolest name. Litten is pretty cool. I think the sea lion one is the weirdest choice. I think it's very off-putting. It's really weird. People don't really like clowns, from what I've understood throughout life, and to have a Pokemon revolved around that is just going to strike fear in kids.
I bet his evolution will just be menacing too, because he looks like a little goofy circular clown right now.
That thing will be nightmare fuel. Like, it'll be like it. It's scary. You actually had a news story for us this week, didn't you, Jordan?
Yes. Once again, I am bringing you the freshest news off the vine. This time coming to you from Imagine Games Network, aka IGN. And today we have a story that talks about how, like I mentioned, the upcoming expansion for Witcher 3, Blood and Wine, is actually going to have some major graphical upgrading. So, real quick, I was going to ask you, Dom, are you interested in either the expansion passes for Witcher 3? Because I know you played that game last year.
Yeah, very. I want to jump back in. Because it's been since the summer it came out. I put in the 50, 60-ish hours. So I didn't get to everything in the game in that much time. But yeah, I've been wanting to get back into it, and this sounds like a good opportunity to do so.
Well, you should hop on that Hearts of Stone and come along for the ride, because I'll be playing it all months and giving my impressions and stuff. But as for Blood and Wine, IGN was talking to one of the senior environment artists over at CD Projekt Red. His name is Lynn DeGracia, and he explained that Blood and Wine uses new display methods and optimizations to look better than the core experience. We wanted to show that you can actually push it to the limit this time, he said.
As if they didn't before.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is, they're like, oh, it's going to be better than the core experience, and we're upgrading all this stuff. And I'm like, how? You guys made, like, an awesome game already. You're just...
That's how.
The way that CD Projekt Red works its butt off for their customers is just incredible, and I don't think they're unrivaled in the industry in that sense. He said it's partly because its setting, Tucson, is an entirely separate map. It's like a fresh development. Blood and Wine, we literally started from scratch, which that may be a little bit of hyperbole from him. I don't think that Blood and Wine is literally like Witcher 4, just a brand new game. Like, I think that, they took bits and pieces from here and there and then totally revamped a lot of it. It says it includes up to 90% new environmental assets, and it employs different lighting, giving Tucson the distinct French feel that you can notice if you check out the screenshots. And not only will it look better, but it's also going to run better. They had to make a few sacrifices with graphical downgrades and development. And once the original game was released last May, there was some performance patches that had to be put in to keep the frame rate up around 30. So it seems that Blood and Wine is going to fare differently in that sense. Hopefully it'll be running smoother. I don't think we could expect like 60 frames a second or anything like that, but I think it'll just be hitting 30 frames a lot more consistently. Yeah, so when he says we're still aiming for that, he's talking about 30 frames a second. We're still aiming for that, but for the most part, we have already hit it, said DeGracia. In certain places, we still need to run through stuff and try to optimize it the best we can, but in comparison to Witcher 3, production has been way smoother. And then, of course, Dom, the most important part about all of these graphical upgrades that Blood and Wine is going to see for The Witcher 3, the most important part is the fact that he says we have probably 20 times the amount of vegetables that we used to in the main game. So, if you're looking to munch down on a carrot or two and you're playing The Witcher 3, you got a bunch more vegetables to eat.
With this news, I don't have too much to say. I think it's awesome for anybody that's a fan of The Witcher. I've played The Witcher. I need to get back into it. I'm like 12 hours in, I think. Maybe a little bit more. And I'm still in the first area because I'm a very bad completionist. So a lot of times I run around trying to do everything I possibly can, gather everything I can, and sometimes it's a detriment to me playing a game. It's not the game's problem, it's mine. I just have one really quick thing to say, is that if you're going to buy a season pass, you should buy season passes for games like this where they deliver DLC that's worthy of a season pass.
Yes.
Though some people did enjoy the Battlefront season pass, and maybe some people enjoy the Call of Duty season passes, those seem completely watered down in contrast to this. Like, I think that if this is what they're promising and it comes out and everyone loves it and it is this very deep and enriching thing, which, I mean, CD Projekt Red makes deep things, all puns intended. So I think this is a season pass that people need to see and be like, this is the season pass we support. This is the season pass we want to have. Yes.
Thank you for mentioning that, Jared, because, I mean, I love these guys so much. CD Projekt Red deserves the commendation because, yeah, this expansion pass, I think, it's $20 or $30 added onto the price, but
not to mention all the free stuff they already gave.
Yeah, they gave you 16 pieces of free DLC, and then these two expansions together are probably an extra 30 or 40 hours added onto your gameplay experience. So, yeah, I don't know how it couldn't be worth it if you are a fan, which, if you got 12 hours in, I want to ask, did you enjoy the game? Were you into it?
Oh, yeah, it wasn't me moving on from the game, had nothing to do with the game itself. It was me going and collecting a bunch of things, and kind of getting I wouldn't say overwhelmed. It was getting tedious, and it wasn't the game's fault. It was my fault because I was treating it as a completionist, and I was making sure to do absolutely everything I can in this small area, Yeah. And it's a game I want to go back and play. So, yeah, it's nothing to the game. I love the game. I'm only 12 hours in, but what I've played, I love it. So.
Okay. Yeah, that is, a lot of people have that problem with the game where there's just so much going on in The Witcher 3 that you can get very, very lost, and you can start to feel like you're not getting anywhere.
It's my problem in any open world game. It's a personal problem that happens to me a lot. It happened in Skyrim. I beat Skyrim and had over 150 hours in that game, but it's a problem I have personally because I'm a weird completionist, so.
Yeah. It's worth it though. If you enjoyed it and you got that far into it and you're wanting to get back, I would say hop on the train, man, because I really do think that's one of the greatest games of all time.
So, one of the biggest pieces of news this week, another video game movie has a trailer. This was, before I get into it, it's the Assassin's Creed trailer. It's weird to me that a lot of these movie trailers or even superhero trailers get announced on Jimmy Kimmel. He's he doesn't seem like he knows what's going on with any of this stuff, Jimmy Fallon seems like the type of person that they would show this stuff off on. He seems a little bit more culturally relevant. He appreciates video games. He plays video games. It's weird to me that Jimmy Kimmel does these announcements on his show. It's really weird to me.
Have you watched any of the Conan O'Brien Clueless Gamer segments or whatever?
Those really are off-putting to me. I don't really like them. It's okay, we get it. You're making fun of it because you're old and you are irrelevant now. It's just really weird to me. I don't get it. It rubs me.
Oh, salty on the Clueless Gamer.
Yeah, I don't like Conan O'Brien, and I really don't like Jimmy Kimmel. It seems like they just use it to get views. They're not really even intrigued by it by any means.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
It's these kids love video games, so let's do something with games.
Well, now Team Coco has their own gaming YouTube channel. And the guy that's on Clueless Gamer with Conan is the guy that hosts it, so it does kind of feel like pandering.
Yeah, it's really weird. Either way, doesn't matter either way. The Assassin's Creed trailer, it's currently sitting at 7.5 million views. It has 125,000 likes and 11,000 dislikes, so it's not in Call of Duty's territory as far as dislikes. Yeah, the trailer to me looked awesome. I just want to talk about it real quick. We're running long on you, so just brief thoughts on the trailer, guys. For me, I think it's awesome. Looks cool. It could be a video game movie that hits, and is really good. Michael Fassbender's amazing, so that's all I really want to say.
I'm with you, too. It looks sweet. I didn't mind the Kanye West music in it either. A lot of people were up in arms about that, but I thought it
was thematically appropriate. I didn't mind it.
Oh.
For me, I've been waiting on this guy a long time. You guys know how big of a fan I am of the Assassin's Creed series. And I really liked Ratchet & Clank. I think that's the first video game movie I've seen that I really love. But yeah, man, seeing this trailer, it looks freaking awesome. It's everything I could have wanted, and all the hidden blades and all that. So I guess to keep it simple, I'll just say, Gronk love Assassin's Creed.
I think too the thing that they got across in the trailer really well was they explained everything that this is an Assassin's Creed movie. He's doing this, he's going to this, yada yada yada. And then for people who aren't fans of Assassin's Creed, they explain the storyline and the synopsis of everything really quickly. This is a guy, he got captured, he's going back in time to his relatives, he's killing people. They
made the plot make sense like that, man. Super quick.
ending on the leap of faith. Oh my god!
If you had no idea what this game series was about or anything like that, then you could just hop in, and I think everyone's gonna enjoy this movie.
Yeah, even a movie that people thought that they might not enjoy, that Michael Fassbender was in, the Steve Jobs one, was pretty well received. So
yeah.
I think he has a hard time making bad movies because he's lucky enough to, and it's not just an actor, it's everybody that goes into the production, but they usually surround him with some really good talent, so I'm super stoked. Some real quick movie news too. It's not super related to video games, but I thought it was of interest. We're still super stoked about Civil War and just can't get over it. Obviously, one of the big takeaways was Black Panther. His solo movie's going to be coming out. It's directed by Creed and Fruitvale Station director Ryan Coogler, who's had a lot of critical success lately. So we obviously know that Chadwick Boseman's going to be playing Black Panther. They're in talks to get Lupita Nyong'o, who's I think she's Oscar nominated or Academy Award nominated. She was in
for
Star
12
Wars.
Years a Slave.
Yeah, fantastic actress. She's in talks to be in the movie. She will be playing the love interest if she is in the movie. And today they announced that Michael B. Jordan is going to be in the cast, which makes sense. He's worked with Ryan Coogler in Creed, which was critically acclaimed. Fruitvale Station, a lot of people thought that movie was great too. So they work well together, which is awesome. Some people are speculating he's going to be a villain. Other people are speculating he might be like, Black Panther's right-hand man kind of thing. I'm interested to see what he plays. He's a good actor, but it's really cool to see this casting.
Thanks again, everyone, for watching and or listening. If you like what you heard, be sure to give those like and subscribe buttons a quick click. Every little contribution can help to make our channel grow. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at CTRLINT. That's Controlled Interest. See you later.